Hello there, a very good evening and welcome to your Primetime News Bulletin. I'm Shane Silva.
And I'm Dasni Athada. Let's start off with a look at tonight's headlines.
Police curfew for Kandy Administrative District till 6 a.m. tomorrow. President calls for independent and impartial inquiry into incidents in Bigana. Speculation on a no-confidence motion against the Prime Minister. Nidahas Trophy T20 tournament to begin tomorrow. Guillermo del Toro's Shape of Water wins big at Oscars 2018.
President Maithripala Sirisena has called on the police and the armed forces to launch an independent and impartial investigation into the incidents that transpired in Bigana, Kandy.
The President has called on the police and army to ensure that a special program is launched in order to ensure the safety and well-being of residents in the area. President Sirisena has also advised the armed forces to act in a responsible manner in order to avoid further incidents of this nature, adding that all steps should be taken to ensure a peaceful situation in the area.
Meanwhile, police media spokesperson SP Ruan Gunasekara announced that police curfew will be in effect in the Kandy Administrative District till 6 a.m. tomorrow.
Police curfew has been imposed in the Kandy Administrative District with immediate effect. The curfew will be in place till 6 a.m. tomorrow. Police as well as STF personnel have been deployed to ensure security in the area. We are receiving reports that the situation in the area is now peaceful.
Prince Mirad Rad Zaid Al Hussein, special envoy on the Anti-Personnel Mine Ban Convention, arrived in the country today.
Prince Mirad Rad Zaid Al Hussein will remain in the country till the 7th of March. The visit of the special envoy takes place in the wake of Sri Lanka becoming the 163rd state party of the Anti-Personnel Mine Ban Convention. Prince Mirad Rad Zaid Al Hussein called on President Maithripala Sirisena today at the President's official residence. Foreign Secretary Prasad Karyavasam was also present at the occasion. This morning, Prince Mirad Rad called on Foreign Minister Tilak Marapana and congratulated Sri Lanka for acceding to the convention. During the meeting, he had expressed hope that Sri Lanka would become a strong advocate for the convention. Prince Mirad Rad Zaid Al Hussein also met with Minister of Prison Reforms, Rehabilitation, Resettlement and Hindu Religious Affairs, D.M. Swaminathan, at his ministry in Colombo this afternoon. The UNP parliamentary group gathered at Temple Trees this afternoon for a meeting with the Prime Minister.
Nothing transpired from the discussion. We were also looking forward to something, but nothing happened. We spoke about the economy. We spoke about Samurdhi officers working towards the victory of the Pohot tour. We all spoke about the injustices done by the police. There was nothing special. Nothing at all. The party leader said the reforms would be undertaken. We were also hoping that something would happen here, but there was nothing. Not at all. Even Minister Rangi Bandara didn't say anything. There was nothing. The leader was also very happy. He said we must have unity in the party and we can move forward.
We held discussions today on our activity for the upcoming week of Parliament sittings. In truth, we all accepted the fact that there must be change in the party and in our journey. We discussed how we can effect this change. No, this is a routine meeting that we hold every week prior to Parliament sittings. We have been holding these meetings ever since we took control of the government.
The proposed no-confidence motion against the Prime Minister was raised during a media briefing convened by the Sri Lanka Podujana Peramuna today.
As far as I am aware, such a motion is being prepared at present. There is no doubt about that. The doubt lies with the Sri Lanka Freedom Party and no one else. The MPs and ministers are involved in this. What is happening now? There is no doubt whatsoever on the stance of the MPs representing the joint opposition. The joint opposition has decided to extend our fullest support to a no-confidence motion against the Honourable Prime Minister. Does the Prime Minister command the confidence of Parliament or not? There are three instances as is stated in the Constitution. Three means by which the Prime Minister and the Cabinet can be dissolved. One is the no-confidence motion. Second is the defeat of the budget. And third is for Parliament to reject the government's policy statement.
State Minister of Agriculture Vasantha Aluvihare says the no-confidence motion proposed by the joint opposition will be a futile exercise. The State Minister expressed these views following a workshop held today at the Hector Kobakadua Agricultural Research and Training Institute.
No, the joint opposition is not the joint opposition. The joint group has already submitted several no-confidence motions to Parliament. They submitted one against the Health Minister, they submitted one against former Minister Ravi Karunanayake, but both of these have not been taken up. Now they say that one will be submitted against the Prime Minister. No backbencher in the UNP has mentioned this at either the working committee or the parliamentary group meeting. That is his personal opinion, so I cannot speak about that at this moment. No, the President needs to address the nation and make a statement. The President and the Prime Minister must speak to the people of this country. They must speak to them and explain the situation. These problems have arisen because there has been no explanation to date.
The Socialist Alliance spoke of the cabinet reshuffle at a media briefing held in Colombo today.
In order to suppress public protests, the government is attempting to switch some heads around in Parliament and in the Cabinet. Even Cabinet ministers have said that changing heads in Cabinet will not resolve the problem. It is the policies that must change. The biggest theft in our country's history, the central bank scam, was steered and planned by Prime Minister Ranil Wickremesinghe. In any other country, any Prime Minister with self-esteem would have resigned. At this instance, it is the police and the FCID that is under the police that must act against him. Now the entire police department has been entrusted to this Prime Minister. It is necessary that a motion be presented in Parliament against the Prime Minister, considering his involvement in the bond scam and his responsibility and accountability for it. We must condemn his behaviour and ascribe blame to him. We have gotten to know that law enforcement has informed court that Arjuna Mahendran will arrive at the Criminal Investigations Department by the 30th of this month. It is surprising that the Prime Minister, who took full responsibility for this individual up to now, is suddenly very silent on the matter. His silence at this moment shows the extent of his partnership with Arjuna Mahendran.
Talk of the no-confidence motion was on the agenda at a media briefing held by the Pivithurhela Urumaya led by MP Udaya Gammanpila in Colombo today.
The no-confidence motion, which will be presented against the Prime Minister, which has neared completion, contains 14 charges. The front line of the joint opposition, the Sri Lanka Freedom Party and the United National Party have pledged their support to this motion. We hope once the motion is complete, even the JVP and TNA will give their support. Since there is a possibility for the Prime Minister to buy some time by holding a debate on the motion and influencing some of the MPs who have signed the motion, we decided yesterday to first get the signatures of the joint opposition MPs and other political parties in the opposition before presenting the no-confidence motion in Parliament. The people of this country passed a no-confidence motion against this Prime Minister on the 10th of February. If two-thirds of the people are against the Prime Minister and half of the Parliament is not against him, that means the people's will is not represented in Parliament. I will not say that there is no agreement between the parties on the position of Prime Minister. What I am saying is that until the President does it, we cannot say anything. I mean, we will refrain from making a statement on that.
Minister Harin Fernando spoke of issues inside the UNP following an event held in Badulla today.
People who fight over positions will have issues. I also believe that there should be a clear change in the United National Party. However, this battle must be fought inside the party and not in front of the media or in a way which harms the party. I believe that the leader of the party will pay attention to the voice of the party. We have submitted a report in this regard. I was a part of that committee. I believe that he will turn his attention to this.
Let's now take a look at tonight's cartoon by Asanka Ladduahetti.
Prices of 50-kilogram bags of two varieties of locally produced cement have been increased by 30 rupees each.
The Consumer Affairs Authority said that the price increase was authorized last Wednesday. Accordingly, a 50-kilogram sack of cement, which previously cost 930 rupees, will now cost 960 rupees. The authority stated that the price hike had been permitted due to the submissions made by manufacturers on the high cost of imported raw materials.
The Central Bank of Sri Lanka states, based on its current projections, an increase in the market interest rate is not expected in the near term.
The CBSL states that recent movements in headline inflation, core inflation, inflation expectations, broad money growth, credit expansion, expansion in economic activity as well as the international reserve position do not justify the view that a rational market would expect an increase in interest rates. The CBSL issued this statement in response to what it called, quote, misleading news reports on future interest rate movements, unquote. Speaking to American network CNBC on Friday, Dr. Indrajit Kumaraswamy, governor of the central bank, expressed these views.
At the moment, we are pretty comfortable as to where our monetary policy is. There is scope to consider actually a rate cut because there's an output gap in the economy. The Monetary Board at its last meeting wanted to be cautious. First, it wanted to make sure that the fiscal outcomes last year remain on track, and we are confident that they will remain on track.
Tonight, News First tells a heartbreaking story of a family stranded in a foreign land, unable to pay hospital charges for their young child. Their only request to us was that we tell Sri Lanka their story.
Seven-year-old Sanuki Sehetma Bandara has been waiting anxiously for 4 months to return to her motherland. Sanuki is currently receiving treatment at the Thalassemia Treatment Unit at the Narayana Health Hospital in India. Sanuki is the only child for her parents, Sisira Pradeep Virasinghe, who is a police constable, and Sisirage Dilani Mallika Kumari. Sanuki was diagnosed with thalassemia 3 months after she was born. Following a number of tests, her parents had to spend most of their time in hospitals. Soon it became necessary for Sanuki to get monthly blood transfusions at the Kandy General Hospital and Peradine Teaching Hospital. Young Sanuki entered Ankumburu Primary School with other children her age, but started falling sick shortly after, leaving her mother helpless. The doctors recommended that the little girl undergo a bone marrow transplant surgery, and so the search began for matching bone marrow tissues. It was found at the Narayana Health Hospital in India. The cost for the surgery was 6.5 million rupees. After gathering the required funds through various donors and charities, the parents departed for India with little Sanuki on the 19th of October. The surgery was successfully completed by the 8th of November. However, the family was not able to return home.
4 months ago, we came to the Narayana Health Hospital for my daughter's surgery. We did the surgery. We had 6.5 million with us. However, there was an infection during the surgery and they had to treat that as well. We had to remain in the hospital for over a month. We have been forced to pay an additional sum of 5.7 million.
Returning home is little Sanuki's dream. For an individual who supports his family serving as a police constable, 5.7 million rupees is a major obstacle.
We cannot leave the hospital without paying the bill. Each day we stay, it adds about 18,000 rupees to our bill. Each day the bill increases, we are helpless. Please help us bring our daughter home.
While authorities and public representatives squabble over positions and powers, the Gammadda initiative continues to move forward with the support of the people.
Wasted tears roll down their faces.
Solving the issues that have been remained unresolved while standing with the people, the Gammadda initiative continues to broaden its efforts. The Gammadda door-to-door initiative began the island-wide journey, listening to the grievances of the people, offering a voice to those who have not been heard. Using the information collected through our journey from village to village, we compiled 2 reports. In them, we highlighted the main issues faced by the people of the areas. And so, our journey to solve the problems began.
But they see no hope in sight. Let's practice what we preach to redeem them from this trap.
This is no ordinary building. It is the realization of the 10-year-old dream of the residents of Pahlaminlava, Mihintale. Up until this point, the residents of the area, comprising around 700 families, had no common place to meet. Villagers were forced to use an area at the village temple for purposes related to Gramanlidari activities and even maternity clinics. Providing solutions to all these issues, the building was vested in the public on the 21st of February, bringing together the whole village.
A number of line houses in the Urulavalli area in Agarapathana Lidula are facing serious risks from exposed power lines. Electricity supply to this area was established around 10 years ago using these temporary electricity posts. There are around 48 line houses in this area, and this looming threat that hangs over their heads has caused many disruptions to their day-to-day activities.
It has been around 6 months since we began writing letters to the CEB. They have not done anything. We don't know when our houses will catch fire.
The officials have not taken any action. If anything happens to these houses, the government needs to accept responsibility.
When News First inquired in this regard, the electrical office in the area noted that they would be able to resolve the issue if they receive a written request.
The suspect connected to the physical abuse and murder of a 10-year-old boy in the Iranavela area in Chilao has been remanded till the 8th of this month.
According to the police, the suspect was placed in remand custody after being produced before the Chilao Magistrates Court. The suspect was arrested by the Mullaitivu police yesterday.
We now take a look at 2 cases from courts today. The first involves suspects arrested for protesting against a water project that utilized water from the Rajangania Reserve.
51 people who hurled stones at the Tamuttegama police and acted in an unruly manner were released on bail. The suspects were released on a cash bail of 100,000 rupees each when they were produced before the Tamuttegama Magistrates Court. The case will be taken up for consideration once again on the 2nd of April. In a second court case, 5 suspects who were arrested for robbing foreign visitors to the Wilpattu National Reserve were remanded until the 13th of this month after they were produced before the Tamuttegama magistrate Ramila Nadishani. The suspects were employed as safari drivers and guides. A raid launched by the Nochiagama police recovered 5 mobile phones, 4 credit cards, and 800,000 rupees cash, and a camera which had been stolen by the suspects.
Minister of Provincial Councils and Local Government Faisal Mustafa hinted at the possibility of changes to the Provincial Council elections today. The minister was attending an event at the Clifton Girls High School in Colombo.
At the moment, the mixed electoral system consisting of 50% proportional representation and 50% first-past-the-post system has been approved by Parliament with a 2/3 majority. Delimitation has been completed. I have submitted it to Parliament and I am awaiting its approval. So as of now, it will be a mixed electoral system. If there are issues, they can be resolved. We can change the laws that causes these issues in order to ensure that it does not happen at Provincial Council level. The remains of the late Venerable Dharanagama Kusala Dhammathero are currently lying at the Sri Sambodhi Vihara in Colombo.
Chief incumbent of the Sri Sambodhi Viharaya in Colombo, Shastravedi Pandita Venerable Dharanagama Kusaladhammathera passed away on Saturday. The final rites of the late Venerable Dharanagama Kusaladhammathera is scheduled to take place on Thursday at the Independence Square with state patronage. The Teacher Education for English project was launched at the British Council in Colombo today. The country director of the British Council in Sri Lanka, Jill Caldicott, outlined the aim of the project.
In its first stages, it will target around 1,000 trainee teachers currently enrolled in the 4 colleges of the National Colleges of Education in Kandy, in Kalutra and in Jaffna. And the project will last approximately 14 months and it's being delivered by 6 recently arrived British Council trainers. Their aim is to raise the teachers' level of English.
Head coach of the Sri Lankan cricket team, Chandika Hathurusinghe, says the team is well prepared for the Nidahas Trophy T20 tournament, which begins tomorrow.
The Tri-Nation T20 tournament featuring Sri Lanka, India and Bangladesh marks the first occasion that the 3 nations will be competing against each other in a T20 tournament. Sri Lanka will take on India in the first T20 outing slated for tomorrow.
We prepare same way for every game, and the only difference is that we assess their strength and limitations, so that's how we prepare for every game.
The finals of the tournament will be held on the 18th of this month.
And that's a wrap of Primetime News for tonight. For the Newsfirst team, I'm Dasani Athada.
And I'm Shane Silva. The past, the present and the future. Where is Sri Lanka heading? For a lively debate, stay with us for Face the Nation following the news here on TV1. Good night.